This is Ross chapter 13 material, and it has to do with pronominal suffixes on the preposition lamed and bet for that matter. So this is Ross chapter 13. Okay? Now, we have some what we call inseparable prepositions. There are actually 3 of them. What are the 3 inseparable prepositions that like to swallow hay when they can? Beit, lamed, and kaf, right? Now what we're going to learn here only applies to beit and lamed. Kaf is going to do its own little thing, and we'll get to that later in the year. So right now we're focusing on beit and lamed, and I'm going to use the preposition lamed to teach you this because that's what Ross does. But we could have used the preposition beit just as well. So take a look at what we've got here. I've given you on this chart ways to add the pronominal or the Hebrew pronoun to the inseparable prepositions. These prepositions are preposed, placed before the object of the preposition, right? We always attach them as prefixes to whatever we want to say. So I could say something like le Moshe, right? What does that mean? To Moses. What if I wanted to say to him instead of to Moses? Well, you might think that the way to do that is to just say le and then take the pronoun who, which we learned was the word for he, right? But guess what? You can't just do that, because those independent pronouns that we talked about, those are used as subjects of verbs, right? I told you the typical function of those independent pronouns were as subjects. But if I want to say to him, is him the subject of a verb? No, it's the object of a preposition. So I have to use a different form of the pronoun. And that's what this is all about, is the pronouns that are attached as objects of prepositions. Okay? So I can't say lehu. I have to use a different form of the pronoun him, and it's going to be the holem vav over here, lo. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. Now, I've put next to each of these forms the independent pronoun just as a reminder of what they are, and to also distinguish them from what we call the pronominal suffix. Okay? Pronominal is just an adjective form of pronoun. The pronominal suffix. Pronouns that are attached, what we're going to learn in chapter 14 is they can be attached to nouns. I could say his horse, or the horse of him, and I can attach them to prepositions like lamed and bet. So these are pronominal suffixes, and they are going to be attached to the end of words. So here we go. Let's read these, and we'll talk about them briefly. Lo is to him. Lah is to her. Notice that the hey in la has a dot in it. What is that dot called right there? That is a mapik. Mapik tells you that the hey is what? A consonant hey. You have seen lots of comets heys where there's no mapik in the hey. That means that the comet's hey is a vowel. The whole thing is a vowel, one vowel, and it's open, right? La with a mapik in it is open or closed? It's closed, because that hey is a closing consonant hey. All right? So that's la. All right, to her. Lecha. The shavah here is vocal because it's at the beginning of the word. You know that, don't you? Lecha. To you, man. And then lach. What kind of a shavah is that at the end of the word? Silent. Good. So lach is to you, woman. Okay? So we're going to distinguish between him and her and you, man, and you, woman. Okay? And then li is to me. That is the only form on the singular side that is common. That is, if I'm a woman and I say give that to me, I'm going to use the same form as if I'm a man and I say give that to me. Li and li. All right? It's a first common singular form. Look at the plural forms. Everybody, lahem is to them, and the them is masculine. Notice that it is almost identical to lahen, the feminine form of them, but the mem and the noon, you got to remember the mem is always what? Masculine. Think about the independent pronouns they, haim and hain. Notice that the only difference between them was the mem versus the noon. The mem is masculine, right? Now look at the second. Well, here, let's say these. Lahem and lahen. Think hen, a female chicken, right? The hen is a chicken. It's a woman. Lays eggs. Okay. Lachem and lachen. So here we don't have H, but a K sound that is a fricative. Lachem, lachen. Almost identical to lahem, lahen. Okay? And that's to you male, to you female, and that's all plural. Okay? And then for to us, everybody, lanu. Lanu. Okay. Now, we have atem and aten for y'all. Similar kind of endings, except notice, for my independent pronouns for you, I have tavs here. Ata, at, atem, aten. Right? You see those tavs? But when they're object pronouns, object of the preposition, the tav here of the subject pronouns is being replaced with a kaf. Lecha, lach, lachem, lachen. You see the kafs are in all the second person forms. The heys, you kind of see them here, but you only see them on the plural forms. And then for li and lanu, ani, anochi, you see the kirakiot of ani and anochi? That's similar to the li of to me. And anachnu has a new ending, and lanu to us has a new ending. So there's some similarities here. All right? So that's the forms. So let's read it one more time. Ready? Lo, lah, lacha, lach, li, lahem, lahen, lachem, lachen, and lanu. There is only one place in this entire paradigm of lamed plus pronominal suffix where the accent mark is explicitly written, and where is it? Lanu. Lanu. Everywhere else, the pronoun is always on the final syllable, if there's two, or the only syllable, if there's one. Okay? The only time it's on the non-final syllable is in lanu. It's not lanu, but lan. Lan. Okay? All right. Take a look at page 109. And we have here what he calls this, in 13.2, the syntax of the pronominal suffixes. 13.2. This is really nothing earth-shattering. What he's telling you is that when you have a Hebrew sentence, remember how we typically have verb, subject, object in that order? Verb first, subject next, object, right? When you have a lamed plus a person attached, whether it's a real person, a noun, or a pronoun, as we're seeing up here, where is that usually going to go? Where is that usually going to go? Well, if I don't have a subject, it'll be verb followed by indirect object followed by object. That's going to be fairly common, okay? And then if I have a subject, but I've got a lamed with a pronominal suffix attached, it'll frequently be verb, indirect object, then subject, and then the object. So whenever we insert an indirect object, who the recipient is of some object that's being given, right, or sent, I gave him a candy bar, for example. In Hebrew, it would be something like, or let's say Moses gave him a candy bar. It would be, gave to him, Moses, a candy bar. All right? So you'll be able to tell what the indirect object is because the lamed will be attached to it. And that will mark the recipient. Now, in 13.4, we have a really awesome set of constructions. I'm sorry, 13.3. We have these words, yesh and ein. Okay? Say that with me. Yesh, ein. If you know Spanish, yesh is equal to I, and ein is equal to no I. What does I mean? There is. No I? There is not. If what you don't have is plural, you don't change I, do you? So I could be there is or there are, right? And no I could be there is or there are not. Same thing with yesh and ein. Yesh means there is or there are. It doesn't change its form for singular or plural things that exist. Ein is used for there is not or there are not, no matter what the number of the noun is that you're denying or denying the existence of. Okay? So if I wanted to say there is a man, how would I say that in Hebrew, do you think? Yesh ein. I'm sorry, yesh ein. What am I saying? Yesh ish. There is a man. Yesh ish. Yesh ish. How would I say there is not a man? Ein ish. Exactly. I don't say lo yesh ish. Okay? You can't put lo in front of yesh. You just switch to ein for there isn't. Okay? So what if I want to say there is a woman? Yesh isha. And if I want to say there is not a woman, ein isha. Okay, good. You see how that works? All right. Now, if I want to say yesh le someone something, what would that be equivalent to? It's literally there is to me something, and that means I have something. Okay? So if I said yesh li isha. Yesh li isha. That means literally there is to who? To me and isha. What's that? There is to me a wife or a woman. How would I translate that? I have a wife. I have a wife. And if I said instead of yesh, ein li isha, then how would I translate that? Literally it'd be there is not to me a woman or a wife, but how would I make that good English? I don't have a wife. I don't have a wife. Okay? So that's how you say I have or I don't have. You use literally there is to me or there's not to me something. Okay? And of course you can specify who owns it by putting anything after the lamed. Yesh leMoshe isha. How would I translate that? Moses has a wife. Literally, there is to Moses a wife. Right? Moses has a wife. Ein leMoshe isha. Moses does not have a wife. Literally, there is not to Moses a wife. Okay? So that's how we do that in Hebrew. Good. Well, guess what? We have covered almost the entire chapter in like 10 minutes. Isn't that awesome? So what I'll have you do, please, is read 13.4, 13.5, and I'll make a little presentation for you, and you can watch it on YouTube if you want, but it's not that difficult. And do the homework for chapter 13 for Wednesday, and we'll do a quiz for it on Friday. I'll be gone, but Jade will give you that quiz, and then Jade will introduce you to chapter 14 stuff. All right? Thank you.